Hello everyone, I'm Chris, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this outdoor pathway light made from concrete and PVC pipe. This is a DIY project that anyone can do. It's also affordable, fun, and it doesn't take very many tools. This will look great by your pool or patio, so let's get started. That burn, we don't care. So now we're going to cut this out, and this will be our base for the inside of the lamp. So here we go. Now we're going to epoxy this on here. Then we'll drill a hole, and that'll be for our lamp. In this step, I mixed up some epoxy, and I'm just going to put it around the bottom here. And once I get enough of it on there, I'll flip this over, and then I'll clamp it down and let it set overnight. This won't take but probably 30 minutes to dry, but I'll let it sit overnight. Okay, I don't think I had the mic on yesterday when I was doing this, so I turned it on today. I'll just have to narrate the rest. But we're all glued up. That's on there really good. We'll drill a hole in there to accept the light socket, and then we'll make a hole down through the center. We're going to put another piece in here that will raise this up off the bottom of the bucket and allow concrete to fill in around this edge right here. That way you won't see this. I'll leave a little bit protruding out so that when it sits on the bottom it won't fill in. It'll prevent it from filling in. So this is just a scrap piece. You're gonna go to the dollar store. You're gonna get yourself one of these. $1. That's probably more than it's worth, but anyway. You can get any shape you want. There's all kinds of different shapes. So pick your shape. So we're gonna put a little glue on here. After you glue the first piece in, next we're going to put another piece in, and that's going to create a void in the bottom just for wires and so on. We're going to pull it out later. Some water out of the faucet. I got a little bit of cement, and I'm not sure it matters what kind of cement you use. I'm sure there's probably some better than just plain cement. This actually was some leftover my neighbor gave me from some bags, so I'm just going to use it. Get rid of it. Repurpose. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take some hand cleaner. You can probably use Vaseline, would be better choice than what I used. So I'm going to take this hand cleaner and I'm going to put it around the outside edge of this piece of PVC, and that way it'll slide out of the concrete later easy. I'm just using my palm sander to vibrate the container so that I can get all the air bubbles out, and you can see the air bubbles are starting to come out little by little, so that'll just make the surface a little smoother on the outside. So one of my goals in this project was to, as always, keep the costs down low, because it doesn't make sense to spend as much to build something yourself as you could pay for it, unless you're just into the building only. I like to save and build, so I want to save cost, and originally I was going to order some caps that I was going to put on here, and you'll see later this is going to be the light itself, but I was going to make some I was going to buy some caps and stick it on there, but I thought that's just more expense. Let's keep the cost down, and so I'm going to make a cap. So I'll show you how now. So remember the piece that I burned? Okay, well, so I'm going to take that piece, and since I don't really care that it's burned on one side, I'm going to trace this out. That's going to give me my circumference to start with, and we'll cut it out on the bandsaw a little bit rough, and then I'll show you the next part. The bandsaw is not required. You can use a jigsaw, work just fine. You can even cut closer to the line than I did. It'll be beneficial if you do, and you could use a sander to get the rest. I'm going to glue this bolt on here with hot glue so that I can put it on a drill and rotate it on my sander. And it's going to work okay, but it's probably not ideal. Probably be just as easy just to do it by hand, but I'm experimenting here. So I got it shaved down to size. It's been drying for 1.5 days. So first I'm going to try to take this middle out, and remember I just put a little bit of hot glue, so if I twist on it a little bit I should be able to get it out. So that came out pretty good. So I actually cracked it when I was pulling that out because it wasn't dry. So wait 3-4 days. You're gonna see here in a second how I cracked it, not doing the hammering on it with my hand, but I actually cracked it, and you're gonna see a big crack on the side. But you won't have this problem if you're patient, unlike me. No crack, and then when I turn it around, you're gonna see the crack here, and that's from being impatient. I should have let this dry. I can actually feel how wet it is in my hand at this point. But again, you won't have this problem, and I'll be able to fix this. Okay, so what I did was I mixed up some more epoxy and I smashed it down inside the crack and filled it up so that it would bond it all together. And here I'm just sanding that remaining goop off the outside so that it'll look nice and smooth. As a result of the crack, I'm going to have to paint this concrete, but it will be fine. Now I need to remove a little bit of the glue on the inside also and clean up the edge so that the top piece will slide in easily. So I'm going to use this paddle bit to drill a 3/4 inch hole in the top so that it will receive the lamp socket. And this is the exact size I drilled because it allows me to thread right into the plastic of the bottom there. Notice the gasket. This will keep water out of the socket. When you screw the bulb in, it seals around the edge of the bulb real tight. Best way I could think of to making this line is just to put this board up against here and draw that line. There may be 100 other easier ways to do it, but that's the way I did it. So we're going to use that line to draw our hole for the light to escape. Okay, I ran into a little problem. Once I got down into the plastic, the shoulders were rubbing on here before I got through, so I'm going to try to tilt this a little bit on each side to cut through. We'll see. I took the drill bit out so that I could turn it sideways. I'm going to use this epoxy to glue the cap that we made on. And it's a firm epoxy. It will be easier to work with, and I can shape it around the top to make it seal up real good. Top, but a little bit more sanding might be required, but I wanted to at least put one coat of paint on it to see if I like the color. So, now let's talk about what I would do different. Number one, I would wait at least a week before I take the concrete out of the mold. I took it out too early. I was rushing to get this project done, and I did crack it. If you leave it in the mold, let it dry, it won't crack. Also, I will put a brighter light bulb in here later, probably a 60 watt LED bulb. And the next thing is, I wouldn't paint this. I would leave it the concrete color. I actually like that color. I only painted this just to hide the crack. So anyway, that's all I do differently. With all that said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can subscribe by clicking on my face, the picture of me holding the fish. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.